darling. It's a lot of changes happening. It's a lot.
Sounds like it. Like every week I talk to you, it's something new you got going on. Like what in the world is
Not
that?
even that, but just, I don't know, like it's a lot. It's a lot.
What does that mean?
It's a lot, meaning, you learn so much. Like this whole week, I've learned like an exceptional amount of information, but not information even that needs to be used in any sort of way, just information.
Yeah.
And you receive like insights, and I don't know how to explain, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And it was just a good week because it kind of like helped me see like I'm okay. Whew. I mean, I'm good, and I need to tap into that more because I wasn't. And today was like, what are you doing? But it was, I needed to be, you need to be where you are to learn it and everything else. So it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you learn it, you're like, ew. Wonder what next week's gonna bring. But in a good way.
Like, it's a new, every week, literally, it's like, all right, you wake up on Monday morning or whenever your week starts, it's Sunday, it's Monday, whatever. And you're like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen this week.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Life literally just changes right before your eyes from week to week, from day to day.
Yeah.
And you could literally wake up in a year and be like, what happened? And
like
you don't
literally
have a clue. But every week we talk, we connect, and it's like, okay, I wonder, I laugh sometimes during the week. I'm like, I wonder what she learned this week, or I wonder, what she's thinking about this week. Because every week you have like these new revelations about something.
Yeah.
And it's like this constantly learning and unfolding, and things are being revealed. And it's just real interesting to watch and to see. And I wake up every morning and I'm like eager to find out, okay, I feel like right now that I'm looking for something like tangible that I could touch, even though I know that things are happening, things are moving, and I'm literally in the midst of what's happening. But it's like, I want to be able to touch it now. I want to be able to feel it now. I want to be able to see it and taste it. But it's really happening right now, though.
Yeah. But also, you get like what I had literally before this call was just like a revelation. I was taking a shower, hence why I look like this. And I was like, no hair, no makeup. This is what you get. Sorry about it.
This is me.
This is it today. It's fine. This is me working from home. I don't need to show up at the office, whatever. But it was more like allow yourself to have it.
Yeah.
There is the abundance there, but you're just blocking it because of the thoughts or the anxiousness or I want to touch it. Well, I wonder what it is. Or like the constant checking and refreshing your email or doing this.
Yeah.
Like those actions are just slowing you down.
Yeah. Is that fear though? Is that like you mentioned anxiety, but is there fear attached to that? The fact that you're constantly refreshing and wanting to touch it and feel it and see it in real life.
Yeah.
It's happening in your subconscious, and in, in a kind of alternate universe, things are already there. It's already waiting for you. But is it fear based?
Yeah, it's so fear. Because when it's not fear, then it's coming. So it's just, there's no need to have those actions, actually.
Yeah.
You could be taking that time to be doing something that you like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we're human. We're human beings, and
Universe said it don't care. Time said I don't care. Universe said I don't care. Everything says I don't care.
Yeah.
It's such a humbling thing to realize, but
yeah.
And it's always the people who don't understand it.
Yeah.
That always influence us to believe that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look back in my life and I'm like, no, but I get it. I mean, there's gotta be no way. Like, no.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you feel about you in your life. But for me and mine.
Yeah, I don't feel that.
I got a yacht. to catch up to.
Did you see that one I sent you yesterday?
I'm just in awe about this shirt. What's happening here?
Well, I had to represent my baby. There's no way we could like film a show and I couldn't, represent my sweetheart. So
Oh, I need one.
gotta flex on him. Y'all see that flex on him? Yeah. So
I thought about him today or yesterday because I was reading an article and it was like McDonald's opens restaurants in the metaverse.
You know what? And they deliver food. And they're delivering food.
In the metaverse.
Like, really?
So how does this work, guys?
I have no idea. When I saw that, I looked at my screen like, are we really doing this?
Yeah, but people knock somebody like Elon, who in the real world is actually trying to make a difference and do good things and change and like create super cool futuristic things that at one point will be, he took things from here to here. Right. And now the next generation, like this is your base point. We don't have to go back here anymore. Exactly. He created base point.
Exactly.
And we scrutinize him and we talk and but McDonald's sells a cheeseburger in the metaverse and the universe. It's not even real. And everyone's like, oh man, it's wild. It's wild.
I'm eating a Big Mac, fries.
What does that mean? You're not eating
nuggets in the metaverse. But I guess the good thing about that is there's no calories. I can just eat as many Big Macs as I want to and fries and not have to worry about my cholesterol or my, any of that crap.
So how do you eat it in real life? I mean, what is it?
Yeah, I don't get this whole metaverse thing. I don't even understand how it works. Like, I don't get it. Like, where is it? How do you access it? Is it like what is that game? The Sims? Is it something like that?
I guess. But like, what about the real world people? Like, what about what's happening today, like in present? And I don't know. I don't want to knock anybody. I don't want to knock anything because like I said, I don't really know about it and I choose not to learn about it. That's my own views.
Yeah.
But it's such a disconnect for me that
it is.
I don't understand. And everyone's saying like, this is the future. And I'm like, fine. But what about you and the 20 years of trauma? I mean, are you taking that in the metaverse? Like, how does that work? Like, you just like, did you forget about that? How does it work?
We're going to leave that in a little suitcase outside the door. We're just going to go through the metaverse and I think it's really about escapism. That's kind of what I feel like. I feel like we just have we create all these different avenues for us to escape from our real lives. And we just aren't dealing with real stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't have a real understanding of it. I mean, at some point, I don't know. I mean, it's just like with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and how all that stuff works. I know some people are doing well, but a lot of people are losing a lot of money, life savings from this cryptocurrency. I don't know how that works. I get it. I understand it, but it's like, to me, I'm at a point like, make it make sense.
I think the crypto for me it's just another, like, what is money? Money is an exchange of a service provided. So if you feel like instead of having money, you would rather have crypto, or big, like whatever coin, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Totally have it. But people are still missing the part of like, if it's replacing money is always an exchange of a service provided. So the service provided part has to be there, or an exchange or something.
Something.
It's still the same mindset of abundance, of prosperity, of whatever.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I haven't like touched physical money in I don't know how long. So, I mean, I get the concept of not having actual dollar bills or coins in my hand, swiping a card or, using an app to pay for something. I get it. It makes sense. It's convenient. But I guess maybe that's obviously the next level or the next thing that we're going into. And it's, it's just like when ATM cards came around.
Yeah,
And people were like,
exactly.
what? We're going to be
Right.
swiping
You want me
cards
to
and not
stick
using
this
cash?
piece of plastic in a machine
Exactly.
right. So
Exactly.
it's just interesting how it's all literally though still the same concept.
Yeah. We're just evolving at a level that I think it's kind of like it's beyond our comprehension at this point, because things are kind of moving at light speed. And it's like, wow. It's real interesting. I was watching a video last night, speaking of Tesla and Elon, and they were showing a simulation of how these rockets are going from Earth. He wants to like create life on Mars. And the way this video was, it seemed so real. It was like I was inside of this video on this spaceship, on this rocket, going from Earth to Mars. And at the end of it, they showed it where like the door opened and there were 4 astronauts just kind of standing in the door, kind of looking out, and there was life already established on Mars. And, Elon's caption on Twitter was like, let's make this real. I was like, so it's like we're seeing something that I may never see that in my lifetime. I don't know, but it seems like that's where we're headed to. We're headed to this place. And it's so far beyond people's comprehension. People are just like, this guy is nuts. I mean, I know we talk about him a lot, but it's worth having the conversation about where we're going. It's like this man is such a visionary. He sees things that normal people don't, not normal, but I mean, what is normal? But, average thinking people, he sees things that average people don't see. And people are like, this guy is nuts. But then whenever the vision that he has in his head becomes something tangible that we can touch, everybody's like, "Ooh, wow."
I'm going to meet him one day. It's in my agenda. It's in everything. And I'm just going to say, thank you, sir. Mr. Musk.
Mr. Musk.
Hello, Mr. Musk. Thank you, sir.
I wonder if I'm sure he probably does. If he has I'm sure in the beginning, but I don't know about now. I wonder if he's just at a level of comfortability with himself that he doesn't really have the self-doubt anymore. I wonder if his level of confidence and understanding about who he is, I wonder if he's kind of beyond that point, or if he still kind of has those moments where he's like, wow. I don't know if I could.
Sucks for him because he think like in order for him to even have come as far as he has, he's had to have these imaginations at some point. I mean, they have. That's how you put things into existence.
Yeah.
I'm sure he gets frustrated because he just went to bed last night and he was like, oh wow, I know how to make this rocket attached to this rocket, then we can just go here, right? It makes sense. And then he's like, guess what I found out? And people are like, you read what?
Yeah.
That must be so difficult. Wow. But I'm grateful that he took on the role, and that's why, like, for me, it's such a moment to be able to say, hey, thank you, because what I see in you is it helps me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching an interview yesterday with Nicole Kidman. I was watching The View, and she just recently took on this like majorly iconic role of Lucille Ball. And I love Lucille Ball. I used to watch I Love Lucy all the time when I was a kid. And, she's like, whenever, and they asked her about that. They're like, did you ever have any fear? Like when they brought this role to you, were you fearful that you could not, fill the shoes of this iconic woman? And she's like, initially, whenever I do something, I just jump right in and I don't really think about it. And then she's like, as we started to film this movie, she's like, about a weekend, I was just like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? And, she called the director. She's like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But then of course, family and friends rallied around her and, you can do it. But she's like, initially, I just was like, what? Yeah. How in the world did I think that I could do this iconic role? So, she's like, yeah, I did have some fears about it, but I was able to move beyond that and kind of move forward. But she was like, I had some doubts about that.
Don't you love Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. And she nailed that role too. I mean, she nailed it.
Nobody can be Lucille Ball.
Nobody. I thought initially, they would cast Deborah Messing from Will and Grace. I guess because of the red hair.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I thought maybe she would play the role. And when they said Nicole Kidman, I was thinking, I'm not really seeing that. But when they showed it last night, I was like, whoa, yeah, she got it. She nailed it. So you do things, even though, we take on these big opportunities. It's like, who's going to turn that down? Mm-hmm. Who's going to say, you know what? I'm good. I'm not. But people do, though. People get opportunities every day and they're afraid to pursue it. And it could be an opportunity of a lifetime. And it's like, that opportunity will never come again. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people are just like, no, I'm good. Mm. But then you have to, sometimes I always say, just do it afraid. If you're afraid of it, do it anyway. Just do it. Mm-hmm. What was it like for you being in the family business? I mean, good grief, Toni Braxton, international, everything, superstar. Like, what was that like for you being in the family business and being around that level of excellence? What was that like for you? And were there any fears for you initially?
Oh gosh, being up on stage, like being a background singer, goodness gracious. I remember I would tell our sound guy, his name is Jamie, I'd be like, don't turn my microphone on.
Did you say don't turn the microphone on?
Like, Jamie, if you're out there and you're listening, thank you so much. Because
really?
Yeah. There were days where I would like, don't turn it on.
So you were up there just like going through the motions and not really singing.
I didn't need to. What you want me to say? No, I didn't need to say anything. I just needed to do the little moves. I needed to be a doo-wop bop chick, but and what people don't understand is like they all have sung together since they were like, my grandmother taught everyone how to sing. And it was like you needed to know your note.
Yeah.
Know your note. So for them, it's second nature. Mm. But for me, it was not. It was like, whoa, it was a lot happening.
Mm. Wow. So at what age did you first kind of get involved in the family business that way?
I guess I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 21.
Did you ever, and I probably already know the answer to this question, but did you have like imposter syndrome? Were you up there like, what the hell am I doing here?
It was like people have their cell phones out recording this. Mm. So when we're all like gathered up and we're getting together, we're about to do a dance sequence where it's two of us and then Toni and then two other people. Mm-hmm. If you don't have those moves down, it's recorded, girl. But for me, this is why I liked being on the back end of it, because at some point it just, not that it became too much, it just became too much. Mm-hmm. Like I loved being her executive assistant, and it was always my role and my want as well to do a good job. So it's it's more like being an assistant in that sense. It's more than just an assistant. Like you need to be the eyes. You're also like part security. Like you're also part tour manager. You're also part so many. You're also manager. I mean,
Yeah.
in a sense, it's like I am talent manager. But it was so many roles. And then on top of that, we had the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't me just taking care of one aunt. It was like me taking care of all of them. And it just was like, okay, this is not working. I can't. And then I have to go up on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prepping for a show is already exhausting. And it depends when we flew in. Did we fly in day of? Did we fly in the night before?
Mm-hmm.
Night before? Like, are we doing 5 shows afterwards? Is it 5 suitcases that everyone has, or is it
Wow.
2? Do I know you need to unpack? There's a moment when we went to where did we go? We went to the south of Spain in Marbella for a show, and then we needed to go to Venice.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a layover in Rome. And in that layover in Rome, it was when in Italy there was like all these strikes. So the
Mm-hmm.
bags didn't make it.
Wow.
And we're singing for some prince. What do you do? No hair, no makeup, no clothes, no nothing.
Wow.
So you need to run around and find it. And then you're running around in another country. We don't speak Italian, but we need
Mm-hmm.
luxury things. How do we make it work? And luckily, like that's why this industry is so nice. And that's why the people that I have worked with, we are so close, because we've had to deal with things like that where
Mm-hmm.
you need to rely on each other. It is a family. Entertainment circle is so small because, when you have that experience, it's like you ask your other friends, "Would you do this weekend?" It's like there wasn't a comparison of that.
Yeah.
And we had to figure it out, and we figured it out in literally an hour before we had to go to the show. Like we are
Wow.
one of the tour manager at the time asked a guy, he drove from Venice to Rome to get the bags and came back and showed up 1 hour before
Whoa.
we had to leave. But yeah, we already
Whoa.
had made a custom dress and it was beautiful, and we found the
Yeah.
shoes and we found the makeup, and we were all happy because at the end of the day we were able to get the job done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because you really don't have a choice. It's like,
Well,
what do you just I'm just not gonna perform? Like we're not
there's
gonna do
no,
it? That's not an
you can't
option.
say no. It's just always figuring it out, and everyone has to work together. And that's why I'm quite good in my leadership role, is because you have to
Mm-hmm.
figure those things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to keep good faith about it. Like, you can't, I could
Yeah.
sit there and we could all sit there and stress for the next day,
Yeah.
or we could just get up and just go.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that too, about being able to transfer your skill set, the things that you learn, in the family business,
Mhm.
and how you're utilizing those skills now and how you've been able to transfer those skills, because it's the same skill set, but you're just utilizing it differently. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's really interesting because people always say, like, what can you do? And I'm like, well, I can kind of do everything. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can do everything. And how do you translate that onto a resume, or how do you write those things out? And how do because for the regular society, it's I went to school and I did this and I worked this job and this is what makes me qualify.
Right.
Well, to be fair, I did not go to college. So how do I say, well, I flew here and I did this and I did this show and it was a disaster. And then I went here and it was awesome. And then
Mm-hmm.
now I'm back. And then we went on tour with 30 people. It's not easily transferable, but I didn't really care because and that's what made me such a leader, and why I was always friends with the leadership team or things like that in a company.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, but I'm not scared of them because they're just like you and me. I mean,
Exactly.
we're the same, and maybe they're capable of doing that in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to take that person and put them in my environment, would they know,
Exactly.
the rules of the game of this environment? I don't think so.
Exactly. 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 I was talking to a colleague of mine yesterday, and she wants to get her doctorate degree. And so I'm like, okay, well, what are you waiting for? She's like, well, I said, have you even identified the program or the school that you want to go to? She's like, yeah, I have. She goes, but normally they only accept people who are at an executive level. I said, okay, first thing I want you to do, because we were on a Zoom call, we were on a meeting. I said, I want you to turn around and look at your accomplishments that you have on the wall. I mean, she had a bunch of certificates and accomplishments and a bunch of stuff. And she, she's got like 20 years of experience. And I said to her, just because someone has an executive title doesn't mean that your 20 years of experience doesn't translate into the same skill set that that other person had. The only difference between you and that person is they have a title. And like you said, if you took that person and put them in your environment, would they be able to survive? Would they be able to do the same thing that you were doing? So I said to her, don't minimize yourself or minimize your accomplishments based on what someone else has. You can't compare your life or your journey or your accomplishments to someone else, because the journey is the same. We may end up in the same place, but our experiences are totally different. Mm-hmm. Totally different.
But also, what's your ambition? Because that can't be skills you can learn, but the ambition can't be. Somebody said that to me yesterday. They were like, what makes you qualified to do this? And I looked at them and I was like, the exact point that I feel like I am qualified is what makes me qualified. But there's nothing that, it's just my ambition of what I want to do. So if you want to do something, then you make it happen, you get it done, you play the role, you do whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the skills that can be learned
easily.
But it's such a limiting mindset.
Yeah.
When he said that to me, I don't think I could ever ask someone that ever again. What makes you qualified?
The fact that I'm sitting here having a conversation with you, we're here at the same level having a conversation.
Yeah.
The fact that we're having this conversation qualifies me to be here. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that I was qualified to do whatever it is that I'm called to do.
And that's why I look at myself as a leader, because a leader never judges someone by their skills. It's always the ambition. You always have to look at like what's really in front of you. So for me already, I was like, well, it's a confirmation that I'm a leader. I mean, I don't care what you say. I'm already a leader, because a leader wouldn't do that. A leader wouldn't do that.
A leader would not. Wow, that's interesting. I think sometimes people just get so caught up in that piece of paper. For me, my degree, that was something personal for me that I wanted. Mm-hmm. Sure, it may open a door or two here and there, but even if you have that piece of paper and you get to that open door, if you don't have the leadership or the skill set to perform the job, because there's plenty of people that have degrees and don't know jack. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of people that are in positions of power that really? Mm-hmm. So it's really about how you feel about yourself and how confident you are in being able to achieve whatever task is in front of you. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to really quantify to anyone why I'm here or why I'm qualified to do what I do. Do you not know my history? Did you not Google me? Do you not know that I'm that girl?
But why all the comparisons? That's another thing that people it's always some sort of comparison. I mean, it's
their own insecurity, I think. Mm-hmm. I think maybe they may be suffering from some type of imposter syndrome, You never know. I don't know. But I don't think it's about the other person. I think it's really about them when they start to question someone else's abilities. I mean, if you're an astrophysicist or something like that, you might want to know a little something about it. You can't just walk off the street and walk up to NASA and be like, hey, I'm here. It doesn't work that way. But if I'm a leader and you're a leader, you have leadership skills, I have leadership skills, we're both leaders. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why it's important to have confidence in yourself and know who you are, where you're going, what you're doing, because if not, it's so easy to come across people and to have a conversation and their way of thinking gets caught up in, it can get stuck in your mind. And so you need to be able to hear what people say, have a filter to know, like, okay, I'm going to take that, but not judge the person. Do you know what I mean? Whoever said that to me yesterday, they're still my friend. I'm not going to judge them. But hearing it was nice because I was able to make a clear, like, I wouldn't say that if I were you.
Yeah. But do you go back and ask yourself the question at some point, okay, well, what does qualify me to do this?
Yeah. And then after thinking about it, I was like, well, just the fact that I stood up there and said that I was qualified to do this is what makes me qualified to do this. I mean, yeah, that was literally what makes you qualified, what makes a CEO or something like that, what makes you qualified to teach them or help them. It's like, well, we're all humans. Wherever there's a strength, there's a weakness. So
and if you understand human behavior, I mean, you have lived experience. It's like you've been there, done that. What you've learned, you take that, create something to help other people to get through the same place that you were at some point. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I guess maybe for some people, they don't have the wherewithal to really because in order to help other people, you really have to help yourself first. So it's almost like you're the guinea pig. You're the person that you're kind of figuring these things out. And when you figure it out, when you understand how certain things really work, you can easily articulate that to help other people. But everybody doesn't do that. Everybody, people don't in general think about what it takes to be a better person. We talk about this all the time. Just what does it take to be a better person? Just pay attention to your life.
Yeah, and it's all confidence. Because to get from here to here, if you thought that you could, then you would. So the only thing that holds you back is confidence. And confidence is such a big word that can be used, it can be stretched out. It can be other words in that.
Yeah.
But it's always confidence. At some point, you don't think you can do it or it can be done. That's always the limiting factor.
Yeah. Yeah, you really just have to. And that's the thing I was telling my colleague yesterday, about this doctorate program. It's like, I was like, you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that if this is what you want to do, don't worry about how it's going to happen. We get so caught up in wanting to know the little details of everything. The only thing that you're responsible for is deciding what you want to do and then taking whatever necessary steps that you need to take in order to get to that point. The route of how you're going to get there is not your business. It's just not your business. Stay out of that part. But we get so caught up in wanting to know, okay, do I take this exit or do I take this? It's like a road trip. I feel like life is like a road trip. You pack all your clothes and your goodies and your snacks and all this, and you have an idea pretty much where you want to go, but the route of getting there may be different than what you originally planned. Because if I get in my car and drive from Atlanta to Miami, I know it's going to take me about 9.5, 10 hours, depending on how fast I drive. And I drive pretty fast. So about 9.5 hours. I may think I just need to go right from here, straight down I-75, cut over, get to I-95, and I'm there. But I don't know what's ahead on my path. There may be construction, or there may be an accident, and I might have to take a detour. But if I'm so focused on, I've got to go straight down 75 to I-95, then I'm just ignoring all the other things that are coming up on the path. So it's not really my business. Just get in the car and drive. Get in the car and drive. And don't worry about what route you're going to take to get there. Get in the car and drive. If there's something you want to do, do it. Pursue the dream. Decide what you want and just do it.
And sing some songs while you're at it.
Sing some songs. You got to have some good music playlist going on.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good.